Hello and welcome to the 10th and final part of the Minion series. My name is Raymond Gabriel, and in this part we will import the Minion character in Unity and control it with the keyboard and mouse. I'm assuming you have the final blend file from the last parts ready to follow up with this part. If you haven't watched the last parts, please check them out from this playlist or from a link in the description below. Without any further delay, let's get started. In the last part, we were able to make a walk, run, idle and jump animation for our character here. In the non-linear animation editor, you can check from the bottom and you will be able to see the animation. What we need to do now is export this character to FBX format so we can import it to Unity. I have tried before to import the character to test it in Unity, and I found out that there is a problem with the clothes and with the buttons here. As we have added more bones along the duration of this series, I had to reattach the clothes and the buttons to the armature again so that it imports correctly to Unity. So let's do that very quickly. First, select the clothes here, press tab to go to edit mode. From this tab, remove all the vertex group that were created before, so we have an empty vertex group here. Alright, then go to wireframe, select half of the clothes like that, press X and delete vertices. And let's add a mirror modifier so we are sure that the right side is exactly as the left side. Alright, so let's add it from the modifiers tab, add a mirror modifier, press this arrow to put it at the first of the modifier stack. Let's select the buttons, go to this tab, remove all the vertices from this drop down list and then delete all groups. Now select the clothes, press shift and hold, then select the armature, Ctrl P with automatic weights. The same thing with the buttons. Now the character should move as it was before. Okay. I think there's one more thing that needs to be done so that we don't have any errors when we import the character inside Unity, which is make sure that the normals are all facing outwards. Alright, so to do that, hide the armature for now, select all the character, make sure you have one of the meshes of the character selected, then press tab to go to edit mode in all of them. Alright, now from here, if you press the drop down arrow here, and at the bottom you will see normals. If you press display normals along faces, what will that do is that it will show you the normals, which is the direction where the face is pointing. So as you can see, all the faces are pointing outwards. So just to make sure that every one of them is pointing outwards, select all the faces by pressing A, then press Shift N, and that will recalculate all the normals and will make them all pointing outwards. From here you can switch it to inside. If you check this checkbox, make sure that it's unchecked so that all of them are outwards. Okay, press tab to go to object mode. The last thing I want to do is make sure that all of the objects have a solidify modifier. All the flat objects, that is, like the clothes for example and the strap here, all of them have solidify modifier, but I think that the goggles, if you press shift H on it, you'll see that it doesn't have a solidify modifier on it, and that will make it look transparent from the inside. So make sure that all the single plane mesh have solidify on it. Okay, so select the goggles, add a solidify modifier, push it above the subdivision, go to wireframe, let's make it about 0.005. It doesn't have to be too much. Also the glasses here. And also let's make sure that it has a loop that will make it sharper at the outer edge by pressing Ctrl R. When you're done, you can switch off the normals from here again. This is just for the view. You don't have to enable it to recalculate the normals. I just displayed it so that you can understand better. I think the model is ready to be exported out. Let's select all the character. Okay, make sure every part of it is selected. Now press File, Export, and choose FBX. Go to where you want to save it, rename it to Minion, and then from here check Selected Objects so that only the selected objects in the scene are exported out. Scroll down and make sure that Big Animation is checked as well, and also the NLA strips is checked so that all the actions here should be exported out. Now press Export. Okay, let's open up Unity Hub. I'm assuming you have the latest version and you have the latest version of Unity Editor installed as well, which is 2019.4.3F1 LTS. Press New. to create a new project. Make sure that it's a 3D project, rename it to Minion, choose the location that you want, then press create. As you can see, this is my layout for Unity. By default, you will be seeing something like this, but I just changed the location of the project and the hierarchy to be right here, and the game window to be down there. You can rearrange it like that by just dragging the windows to where you want. Now go to where you save the FBX file, drag and drop it in the projects window, select it. As you can see, it exported perfectly with the idle, jump, run and walk animations. If you press here, you will see a preview for the character. Make it bigger from here. It's just missing the textures, and we will see how to add the textures right now. Let's just check now the animations. If you select the idle and press play, you'll see that the animation is working. The jump, the run, and the walk. Okay, I think everything is working perfectly. Let's select the character and put it in the scene right here. It's now imported inside the scene. It's a bit dark, so select the lighting. Maybe from here, rotate the sun to be facing the minion like that, so that it's lit. We will be fixing the lighting and the camera when we finish the setup of the character, so we can see it better in the game window here. Now let's add the textures for our character. If you remember, we have baked out the textures for the clothes in part 5 of this series. I'm assuming you have it ready. Let's select the minion from here, select the arrow, so you can see all the components of the character here. You will see that it contains all the objects of the character. As you can see here, those are the materials that have been imported with the character. But right now, all of them are grayed out and I cannot change any of them. To fix that, we need to select the main character from here, then go to the Materials tab, and then from here, click Extract Materials, create a new folder from here, and let's rename it to Materials, then press Select Folder. What will that do is that it will extract all the materials and put it in the material folder here. As you can see now, all the materials can be edited. Okay, let's from here select the clothes material. As you can see here, you have places for all the maps for the diffuse map, which is called albedo, metallic, normal, height, all the maps that you can add. Right now we have only the diffuse and the normal map, which is the ones that we have baked out. So just drag the diffuse map and put it in the materials folder here. Okay, now select the clothes, drag the map and put it in this square beside the diffuse map. Alright, as you can see, it has added the texture perfectly on top of the mesh in the viewport here. Let's do the same thing for the normal. Select the normal and put it in the normal map. The normal, I think it's too much, and I think here it's given us a message that it's not marked as a normal map. So you have a fix button here, just press fix now, and instead of having the normal to be 1, which is too much, I think, let's make it about 0.5. I think there's some problems with the material metalness and roughness, like the gloves in Blender were a bit reflective, and also for the goggles, and this part should be transparent. So let's go to each material here, the black material, and try to make some changes. For this one, I need it to be less rough so that it reflects more light. So for the smoothness here, let's increase that. You'll see that it's starting to reflect the light like that. And also let's select the metal material here, and for this one drag the metallic to 1, and also the smoothness, let's make it more smooth like that so that it's more reflective. Okay, now select the glass material. For the glass material we want it to be transparent, so you can change the rendering mode from here from opaque to transparent. Source here, change it to albedo alpha, and then from the albedo here you can select the color and change the alpha value, drop it like that so that it's transparent in the viewport like that. As you can see, the eye inside still doesn't have any textures. Okay, let's hide the glasses for now. You can press H, or you can press this eye icon beside the circle. Let's add the eye texture for this one. As we didn't bake this one out, you can just select the textures that we have added in part 4. Just drag the texture and put it in the material folder like that. Okay, now right click the material folder and from create select material, so we can make a new material. Rename this one to eye. Okay, for this one, drag the eye and put it in the diffuse map right here. Okay, so now we have a material for the eye. Drag the eye material and put it on top of the eye mesh in the scene like that. As you can see, the texture is repeating. So to fix that, you need to go to the eye texture here, and then in the wrap mode, you will see that it says repeat. Change that to clamp. You'll see that it removed all the repetition and left only one eye. You might get this message saying that the changes to the texture is not applied. Just press apply. Now unhide the glass material. Okay, I think the model now is good and all the textures are applied. Okay, right now what we need to do is actually get the animations here to run in the scene here. So to do that, we first need to select the minion from the hierarchy, and then from here choose the animation tab. As you can see here, it says to begin animating minion, create an animator and an animation clip. So first thing we need to do, when you select the minion character here, you'll see in the inspector you have add component. Press that and search for anim or animator and add an animator component to the minion. Okay, right now you'll see that the animator has been added and we still need to create an animation clip. First, let's create a new folder, right click on assets, then create and select folder and rename this one to animations. Now from here press create and then go to the animation folder and press save. You will see that has added the controller and empty animation. Next, what we need to do is go from here. You'll see the animator tab beside the scene tab and you will see something like this. What we have here is the entry, the beginning of the animation, and it's going to the new animation that we have created. We don't want that, so let's just delete it. Instead of it, we need to add the animations that we have created. So if you went down in the assets window here and went down to the minion FBX, you can see here the idle, jump, run and walk animations that we have for the minion. You can simply drag and drop the walk cycle inside here and it will be attached to the entry. Also do the same thing for the run, for the jump and for the idle. Okay, so right now we have the entry going to the walk cycle. That means that the walk cycle is the default state, which is not the case here. The default state we want it to be the idle. So to make the idle animation the default state for the character, right click the idle animation, then press set as layer default state. You will see that the arrow has changed to the idle. Next, what we need to do is be able to change the state of the character from idle to walk. So right click idle and make transition to walk, and also from walk to idle again. If we stopped walking, you want the character to go back to idle. So right click, make transition and select the idle again so that the arrow is going back and forth like that. Same thing for the run, right click the walk, make transition. And for the jump, we want it only to be activated when we are in a running state. Make a transition to the jump state, and also from the jump, make transition back to the run cycle. Okay, next what we need to do is add triggers to these animations so that we can trigger them when we play out the game. So to do that, we need to go to the parameters tab here and then press the plus sign. You will see 4 options. Let's choose the pool option, which is just a checkbox here. So let's rename the first pool to is walking. Be careful how you write this here because we'll use this later. Okay, so this is the first pool. Let's press the plus sign again and make another pool, and let's rename this one to is running. Press the plus sign again and select the final pool and call this one jump. Alright, next what we need to do is add these parameters to these animations here so that we can control it. So select the idle animation, for example. You will see here transitions from idle to walk. Select that, then go down. You will see here conditions, then press this plus sign and that will add the parameter is walking and will set a value to it, a true or false. We will control these values later in a script that we will make for the character. Okay, select the next animation, the walk cycle. You'll see here you have 2 transitions, from walk to idle and from walk to run. So select the walk to idle, go down, and in the conditions press the plus sign and set the is walking to false. Now select the walk to run, go down, and in the conditions press the plus sign again. Change the parameter from is walking to is running because we wanted to change from walk to run. Set the is running to true and then select the run cycle. Do the same thing, go down, add a condition, set it to is running and set it to false. We needed to stop stop running, so is running, make it false. Now select the run to jump, press the plus sign here in the condition again, and select the jump parameter and set it to true. Go to the jump animation, select the transition, go down, press plus here again, select the jump parameter and set it to false. I think now we are ready to test these animations. Okay, so go to the game window here. You will only see a silhouette for the character because we still didn't add the sun to the face of the character. Let's do that very quickly so we can see it better. Go back to the scene window and then from game object, go to light and add a directional light. Okay, move this light like that. Maybe select the camera here, which is looking at the back of the character. Move it in front of it and rotate it on the y-axis by 180 degrees so that it's looking to the face of the character. I think that will do. Go back to the animator window and let's try to play the game for now and see what we will get. You'll see now that the idle animation has played, but it has played only one time, which is not something that we want. We want it to loop again and again. Alright, so to do that, go to the Minion FBX here, and then in the idle animation here, go down, and in loop time, check this box, okay, then press apply. What will that do is it will make it run again and again. Let's now try these parameters. Check the is walking parameter. You'll see that the walk cycle has started, but it only played one time. Let's make it looping. Minion FBX, go to the walk cycle, go down, and check the loop time, then press apply. Let's do the same thing for the run. I don't think we need it for the jump as we don't want it to loop. It will play one time and then it will go back to the running animation. So let's check that. Is walking, so now it's walking. Is running, now it's running. Jump, so now it will jump. We need to do the same process here without checking and unchecking from here. So to do that, we need to create a script for the character. So we will be able to control these parameters with the keyboard and mouse. Okay, let's go back to the scene window here. Select the Minion FBX from the hierarchy window. You'll see that we have added an animator component to be able to control the animations for the character, but we don't have a controller for the character itself to be able to move the character in the scene. To do that, we need to add a new component, a character controller. So search for a character and add a character controller component. Alright, you'll see that has added a controller in the scene, which is the green capsule here. Let's try and fit this capsule to our character. So to do that, let's change the Y value. Go to the Y here, press and drag to move it up, and then from the radius, let's make it bigger like that, and the height as well, let's make it bigger to envelope all the character. Okay, now what we need to do is add a script to be able to control the character movement across the screen and the animations in the animator. Okay, so to do that, go to the assets here, right click and create a new folder and call that scripts. Right click the new folder, from create select C# script, rename this one to Minion, then press enter. That has created the script. Now what we need to do is select the character in the scene from here, then drag the script and put it right here so it's on the character itself. Alright, now double click the script to open it with Visual Studio. I will be linking the final script file in the description below. If you really don't like coding, you can just download the script and apply it to the character. If you want to know how to write the code yourself, just follow up. I will try to explain as much as I can. Alright, first thing we need to do is add variables to the components that we have added, the animator and the character control. So write in animator space, then write underscore anim, then a semicolon. Okay, now that has added a variable to the animator component. Let's do the same thing for the character controller. Write in character controller, then underscore controller, then a semicolon at the end. The variable can be anything, but you can copy the same right here. In the void start, this is the first frame called when we start playing the game. So we need to get the component and add it to the variable here. So write in the variable that we have just added, then equal get component to get the component from the character, then open up an angled bracket like that and write inside animator. Okay, press tab, then open a bracket like that, then a semicolon at the end. And also for the controller. Okay, next let's add here in the void update, which is the update that is called at every frame. We need to get the Z and X direction of the character controller to be able to make the character move with it. So to do that, go back to the script and in the void update, write in vector 3 and write in the name of the variable direction new vector3, open up a bracket. Inside you can write x and y and z values. To be able to get the horizontal input for the x-axis, write in here input.getAxis, then open up a bracket, then a quotation mark. Inside of it, write in horizontal with a capital H, then comma, and for the y direction you will see that it's going upwards. We don't need the character to go upwards, so let's just write in the script 0, then comma. For the z, which is the vertical axis, write in input.getAxis, open up a bracket, quotation mark, then write in vertical with the capital V, then put a semicolon at the end. Now that we have the direction stored in this variable, let's make the character controller move by writing in controller.move, then open up a bracket, then write inside the bracket direction, then multiply that by time. So write in time dot delta time. Let's press Ctrl S to save the script for now. Let's go back to Unity and let's try to play the game now and see what we will get. If you press W, you'll see that the character is moving forward. If you press S, you will see that the character is moving backwards. A and D will move it on the x-axis. But as you can see, it's moving too slow. So to fix that, we need to add a speed variable and add it to the controller movement here. So let's multiply that by a speed variable. But right now you'll see that the speed has the red underline here. That's because we don't have a speed variable yet. So up there, let's write in float, then write in speed. Make sure that you write it in the same way, equal to 5.0, and write in F at the end, then a semicolon. Okay, right now that speed is at 5.0, which will multiply the direction by 5. Press Ctrl S to save the script, then go back to Unity. You'll see that the character now is moving at a reasonable speed. Alright, so as you can see, the character is moving, but is moving in the idle animation. What we need to do is add more lines to the script to be able to control the animations. So when we move forward, the character starts the walk cycle, and when we press shift, for example, he will start running, and press space, he will jump in the air. So let's go back to the script. Okay, press enter, then let's write in some if conditions. So first one, write in if, open up a bracket, then write inside input.getKeyDown, then open up another bracket, then write inside it key code dot, and let's say W for the forward direction. Okay, then go to the end of the line and open up a curly bracket like that, press enter, and inside of it write in the name of the variable for the animator, which is _anim, then dot set pool to set the pool for the animation, open up another bracket, quotation mark, then write the name of the parameter for the walking. It's called isWalking. Make sure that you write it the same way that you wrote it in the parameter in Unity, then write comma, and you'll see here that it's trying to help you out by telling you what should be written next. So right here you see you should enter a pool value, which is a true or false value. So write in true, then close the line by a semicolon at the end. Okay, what else we needed to do? We need, when we lift our finger from the W key, we needed to go back to the idle animation. So write in else if, then open up a bracket, input.getKeyUp, then open up another bracket, keyCode.w, then open up a curly bracket, enter, anim.setPool for isWalking, and set this one to false, then close the semicolon. Okay, I will do the same thing for the running and for the jumping. So let's write another line. So have the W key on, and else if we press the left shift with it, the isRunning will be turned on. Let's do the inverse of that. Next is the jumping animation. So else if again. Okay, I think we can try the code now. So go back to Unity. First Ctrl S on the script to save it, then go back to Unity and let it compile, then press play. Okay, so it starts at the idle animation. Press W, you'll see that it starts to walk, but I think it's starting at a delayed time. So it's delayed about 1 or 2 seconds until it starts to walk. First thing we need to do is adjust the camera to the back of the character so we see the back of it. So move it on the Z axis and make the rotation 0 again. Maybe move it up and rotate it down a bit like that. And also make the main camera a child of the character so it's moving with it. So drag the main camera and put it inside the minion like that. Press play, then press W, you will see it's moving, and then press shift, it starts to run, press space, he will start to jump. But as you can see, all the animations are a bit delayed, so you need to keep pressing for a while until the animation starts. That is easily fixed by going to the animator and then go to the transition here between idle and walk. You'll see you have here a check mark, has exit time. Uncheck that so that when I just press W, it will start walking immediately. So let's try that. You'll see that has fixed the problem, and let's do the same thing for the back. So when I release the W key, I will go immediately to the idle animation. Let's do the same thing for all the transitions. Remove the has exit time, check mark. I think between the jump and the running, we need the exit time, so the jump animation plays till the end. So make sure that you have the exit time for the jump. Okay, now it's running, now jumping and going down. I think it's working perfectly. Okay, I think that the character now moves at the same speed when he's walking, and then I press shift, he's still moving at the same speed. He's supposed to be running faster when he's running, so to fix that we need to add more to our code. It's a simple line, just in the else if of the running. Let's put the speed here and set it to 9 maybe, 0.0 F, and that will change the speed variable from 5 to 9, and he will start moving a bit faster. And then when we release our hand from the left shift, let's return it back to 5. Let's test that. Let it compile, then press play. Okay, let's press shift. You'll see that he's moving faster. Okay, let's add a plane for the character to move on. From game object, go to 3D object and choose a plane. Then in the position here, change it to 0, 0 and 0, and for the scale, change it to maybe 20 by 20 by 20. Okay, let's add a material for this plane very quickly. I have these two maps right here that I have downloaded. I will leave the link in the description below. Just grab these two maps and drop it in the materials folder. Right click, create a new material. Let's rename this one to asphalt maybe. Select it, then drag and drop the diffuse map from here and put it in the albedo, and the normal in the normal. Drag and drop the material and put it on the plane. I think it needs to be tiled a bit more, so in the tiling maybe make it 5 by 5. Okay, let's try and play now. You'll see that the character is jumping above the ground like that. I think the problem with that is that the character controller is below the character like that. So what we need to do to fix it, just push the character controller until it's touching the ground like that, or the base of his feet. Alright, let's check it again. I think it's better. Alright, what I need to do now is have a way to be able to rotate the character. So I'll do that with the script. Go back to the script. I will just add 3 more lines to the script here. You will find these lines of code in the script file that I will be linking in the description below. I will not be explaining exactly how this is working because it will take too long. After adding these 3 lines, also you need to add another line right here just after the vector's redirection to transform the direction to be usable with this lines of code. Okay, let's try that. Press play. You will see now that I can control the direction of the character with my mouse. That's it for this series. I hope that it was able to help you out. It was certainly fun to make it, so I'll be trying to make more like it in the future. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video gets uploaded. Your feedback on this series will be highly appreciated so I can make a better one for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.